Councilmember Waring to see if he's joining us.
Okay.
There's Christopher.
How's my dog?
Oh, I thought it was you. Did you have a rough weekend or something? No, I'm just teasing. Oh, and John DeStefano is here with us. Welcome.
All right, so Councilmember Waring's calling in now, so let's give it a few more seconds and then.
Okay, no rush.
Mr. DeStefano, I'm trying to see what you have over your head. What is that? A piano? No. Oh, okay.
That's the big fish.
A big fish.
He picked it up at some kind of antique store a couple of years ago. We got you muted, John. You can't respond. Jennifer, can you let us know if Councilmember Waring has called in yet?
I can. IT still has control though, so I'm not the host right now, so I can't unmute anyone.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't see him listed.
I don't see him either. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Yep. Okay. Mr. Mayor, you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call to order the Committee on Real Estate on this Monday afternoon, April 13th, 2020. And Councilmember Jackson, would you take the place of Councilmember Waring and give us an invitation?
Councilman Waring is on the line.
Oh, Councilmember Waring, there you are.
Hey, how are you?
Well, Senior Councilmember Waring, would you lead us in an invocation, please?
I will. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we come before you, we thank you for bringing us through an Easter season and let us know the true meaning of a risen God. Please watch over our world and our country as we go through the throes of this pandemic virus. Please watch over all those on the front line, our healthcare providers, from entering the door to the intensive care and everything in between. Please watch over the leadership of this country, that we be guided in the right direction in an expedient way. We thank you for our state and certainly our mayor and local leadership with council people and all our staff, because we need every last one of them. Everybody pushing in the right direction, and we thank you for the blessings that you have already bestowed with our community adhering to proper spacing and all the strategies it takes to try to contain this virus for an eventual positive outcome. These prayers we ask for in your name. Let us all say amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, you should have the minutes from the March 9th and March 23rd meeting.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We have three major items on our agenda. And I guess, Chip, are you going to lead us through this, or Gianna, are you going to lead us through this discussion on these three items?
I think Gianna's going to do the first two, and I'm going to do the third.
Okay, Gianna, you were up on item A and B, if you don't mind, please. I think she's still muted.
Gianna,
can't
we
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
You don't hear her?
No.
I can do one A. I'm not sure about. I don't know that much about B, but
Well, let's see if we can get her unmuted first. Get rid of her-
Gianna, this is Jennifer. You're unmuted, but if you have your headphones into your laptop, if you can unplug them, because I think if you're using your computer microphone, you need to unplug them for us to hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
There you are.
there you go. Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you very much. And Councilmember Shade, can you read the first one for me? I don't have my agenda in front of me. I only have the documents.
Yeah, it's approval to authorize the mayor to execute the agreement of purchase and sale between the city and Peter Lewis Buck.
Yes, sir. So this is the sale of 87 Cooper Street, which is a property that the city transferred initially to the Episcopal Diocese Choteau to build an affordable housing upon. Last year, they asked us to take this property back, and we did. So this is the third property that we built on a vacant lot. The property happens to be in the East Side community at 87 Cooper Street. The house that is now constructed there will be sold to a first-time home buyer. In this case, the buyer is a City of Charleston employee. The price of the property is $201,834, which is also development costs. And the first mortgage on the property for this first-time home buyer will be $141,834. The remainder of that, or the difference between those two numbers, will be left as permanent subsidy in that home for subsequent buyers as well as this buyer to benefit from. And this property is being sold with the first-time home ownership restrictive covenants of 90 years.
Any questions by any of the council members on this proposal for approval?
Move for approval, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Weird. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Appel. Any further discussion or any questions that y'all may have regarding the sale?
Listen, Mr. Chairman, Keith Waring, I certainly want to thank staff and all for. I remember when this was returned back to the property was returned back from the Choteau to the city, and man, what a victory to be able to find affordable use and a city employee, no doubt. So I wish them all the best. Thank you for, I know they went above and beyond on this one, so thanks a lot to staff and all involved.
Yeah, I just want to echo that, Councilmember Waring, that this project went through a couple of twists and turns, and we were able to get back up and get this thing completed. So kudos to everybody for seeing this project get through.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jennifer. When people are making motions and they're making seconds, if they could also say it just for the recording, because some people are joining by phone and
Okay,
they can't see when someone has their hand raised. Thank you.
all right. Well, Councilmember Waring moved for approval, and Councilmember Appel made the second on that.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in
Councilmember
favor of approving number A, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Well done. Thank you. Item B regards to Fenwick property.
Councilmember Shade, this is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
If it's acceptable to the committee, what I would like is for Gianna to go through the general terms. of the agreement as I and get the approval to move forward with finalizing the agreement with the seller. Carter Dupree has been working on this matter with Hainsworth for us, and he just notified that there might be a few little parts of the agreement that need to be tightened up before we would enter into it. So what I would like, if this is acceptable with the committee, is basically Jonna can talk to us about the overall points, and then if council or if this committee would give us the authorization to move forward and have the legal department comport the documents in the purchase and sale agreement with the conditions as we understand them for the deal.
Mr. Chairman, it's Councilman Waring. I so move.
Thank you.
Second.
That's Councilmember Jackson. All right. Okay. Giona, you back on again?
Yes, sir. This is a property located on Johns Island, South Carolina. The purchase price is $3,500,000. The site itself is 12 acres with 10 acres of buildable property. Naturally, the purpose of us buying this site is for the future development of both affordable and attainable housing in the city of Charleston. This is probably one of the highest sites we've looked at as we've gone through various iterations of properties with Mr. DeStefano. It is in a Zone X. It is located in a key area of Johns Island, convenient to transit and other amenities that will cause this property and cause the units that will eventually be built on the site to be a benefit to first-time home buyers and those who live in the community. The appraised value of the site is $4,350,000. We've had a phase one completed on the site where no environmental degradation has been found. We also have a geotechnical report, and I have just received that today, so I have not had the opportunity to review that, but all indications therein are that there are no environmental challenges with the site itself. There were a few changes, as our legal counsel indicated, that were necessary for the agreement. A section 11.10 was added to clarify the buyer and seller commission. And then there was also a section added in paragraph number 9 that would allow for the additional title examination commitment language to be added. So in addition to an appraisal and environmental study, also time to allow for examination of the title by legal counsel for this particular property.
Okay. Are there any questions from any council members? Does anybody else need to weigh in on this? Susan or Chip, anything else y'all need to discuss with us about this project?
No, sir.
Chairman Shade.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Thank you, Ms. Shaw Johnson. It's really great to know that there's, a property that's this opportunistic for us. So I'm just wondering, so we're going to buy it. Sounds like you've got the monies available in the pots of sources that you put on the application form for it. So will that be, then a very a rapid timetable, or are we going to have to sit on it for a while, or how are we going to go about actually getting the site built out?
So the goal, Councilmember Jackson, would be for the city to look at ensuring that the proper infrastructure is at the site, and we would RFP. Let me step back. We would work with our planning department to come up with the appropriate design. Previously, there was a developer looking at the site that had a concept that he laid out for the site. We would work with Alan Davis and Jacob Lindsay and our planning department to come up with a site design that is appropriate for the city. The goal would then be to RFP this project out to bring in developers to help us go vertical and help our vision to be attained on the site. Our goal would be to make sure that the site is ready for building, ready for construction.
Any other
so-
questions, Councilmember Jackson?
Just to clarify, then the city would basically be the conveyor of the property to a different developer or different owners, depending on whether it turned out to be multifamily rental or some kind of rental property compared to homeowners or a variety of that.
So
we-
the,
Go ahead.
so the goal would certainly be for variety based on the size of this parcel. Currently, what was looked at this site was single-family detached and home-style development, and certainly we are interested in that. We are interested in making sure we're able to maximize density at the site. So ideally, we can do single-family detached, townhomes, and hopefully at least a multifamily development at the site. Previously, when this site was looked at, the maximum number of units in the PUD that was developed here was 104 units. Our planning folks are comfortable with the number of 80 units there. Naturally, the housing people want to push that number out just slightly because we, again, want to maximize density. But the goal would be to do a similar strategy, a similar design in regard to what we eventually build here.
Okay.
Councilmember
Very
Whalen or Councilmember LaPel, any other questions?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Shaw Johnson, you say we got 10 buildable acres. I'm assuming there's some huge grand oaks on this property.
There are
And you
some
say-
grand oaks. Yes, sir.
So you think the most we can get is 80 units?
No, that's the most our planning team thinks that we could get. Previously, the PUD allowed for 104 units. So again, our goal will be to maximize density, especially in light of the price that we're paying. And so
Right.
because the PUD allows for 104, I'd like 104. But I would also like for us to have as part of this, in addition to maybe single family detached and townhomes, the opportunity for multifamily as well.
Okay. Thank you.
So I understand, Councilmember Waring, in my prior conversations, we may be able to squeeze, depending on how diverse we build this out, maybe
Yes,
up
sir.
to 120 units on that property. But that may be a little bit optimistic, but still, that is a substantial increase on that property if we maximize it to the maximum.
Right, right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this property has a lot of potential. I'm very excited about what we can do with this property. As I understand, I know the area very well. This is right off the bridge and very accessible and beautiful land out there, obviously. So getting this up and
I do
running.
have one additional question. This is pretty
sir.
close, as I understand it, to the Pitchfork site.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Mhm.
Okay. When the Pitchfork is built, will it take any of this property?
No, sir.
Great.
No.
No.
But it will
So-
have significant frontage on the northern Pitchfork. It also has frontage on River Road, but frankly, most of its highway frontage will be on the Pitchfork.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Chairman.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jackson.
Sorry, it's occurring to me. So this property was pretty recently approved for the PUD, right? Within the last year. Is that right?
I have to defer to Mr. Morgan or someone from our planning team. I am not sure when that was done. Christopher, can you speak to that?
Yeah. Can you all hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, the PUD was put together a few years ago. There was an amendment in the last year.
Okay, that's what I remember.
Fairly recent PUD. There are apartments that are being built across the street from it, kind of
Right.
between the northern Pitchfork Road and Maybank Highway, that have recently been going through the design review process as well.
So was this the one that was having difficulty achieving their layout based on there was like some private easement from property owners below it that had permanent access to the Pitchfork Road access? So they hadn't factored in the change in stormwater design or something. I just remember there were complications with one of those that was going in right along the Pitchfork frontage.
Right. This site is, on the northern side of the Pitchfork. It will have to have its own stormwater on the site, stormwater detention, things like that. Already a couple of the acres are wet, and hypothetical layouts of it have probably, I'd say, a third to 40% of the property remains either wetland or green space on it. And then because of the trees also, there are many, many trees on the site, a lot of grand trees. And that's why the development yield is a little bit less than you might expect. But we think it is completely feasible for development within the ranges we've talked about.
Okay, yeah, so if it's on the northern side, it's probably not the one that I'm remembering. So, okay, great, thanks.
Any other discussion by any council members? I think we have a motion on the table. Is that correct? Madam
Yes,
Clerk?
sir.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, then we'll entertain approval. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Mr. Pell, you an aye? Any opposed?
Sorry, I'm just
The ayes have it. All right. Thank you very much. Well
You
done,
as well.
staff, everybody for the hard work on this and get into this process.
Right.
Then I think, Chip, you going to talk about item number C for us?
Yes, sir. And Carter Dupree is handling this for the city. I'm going to try to use this share app real quick. Can you all see that now
Yes.
on screen? Okay, let me,
Not me. My screen just went blank.
let me see. If
Good
I
here.
resume share. Does that work?
I have it. I see it on my screen.
Now I can't get it on my screen. Of course, I'm
My
not
screen
trying to
just
do
went
it.
black.
Okay.
You showing Shepherd Line and Rutledge Avenue
Yes, sir.
and
And
the crosstown in the middle.
Here we go. Okay. Can you see it now, everybody? No?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
And I can describe it for Councilmember Waring as well, but this is an area between, it's to the north of Noonan Street between Ashley Avenue and Rutledge Avenue. It's in District 3 on the peninsula. If you see this little line that I'm kind of running my cursor over, that's called Grant Court or Grants Court. It's also sometimes referred to as Nats Court. These two properties that I'm putting my cursor over now are currently owned by the city and under contract to be sold as affordable housing. The other properties on this line, all of these are owned by it's a related company, I believe, named either Forge LLC or Manx Holding LLC, and that one as well. They would like to, and I'm going to try to share this one as well. See if I can get the easement up. Oop,
You there? I see it.
Here we go. Okay. Yep. This is the easement. So they claim the private ownership of all of this, which seems to agree with the title history. There's a question as to whether or not we would have an easement over these two properties or for access to these two properties from Noonan Street, which is here. There's a reasonable dispute. I think if we wanted to file a lawsuit and try to get some sort of implied easement or argue that Grants Court is public, I think there's a decent chance we could prevail on that, but the owners would like to just settle this, and we would like to move forward with our two affordable housing contracts to sell. So the documents that you have before you would allow the city to quit claim any right, title, or interest it has in Grants Court by deed to, and this would have to be done by ordinance, to Manx Holdings LLC, which is the owner of the surrounding properties. And in exchange, Manx Holdings LLC would give a ingress egress easement for the use of both of the city's properties, which will be sold within the next month or as soon as we can get this done, to qualified households as affordable housing. And Carter has put together the draft documents. We're waiting to hear from the developer. I don't expect there's going to be significant changes. I'm going to do stop share. I don't expect there to be any significant changes, but the documents weren't finalized, so I put draft on them. And I asked that they should be finalized by second reading, but I'd ask that the committee recommend approval for first reading of the ordinance, and Corporation Council be given authority to approve the final form of the documents. But as a practical matter, City Council should have the final form of the documents before it, what is that? April 28th is the next meeting, April 28th.
I move for approval, Mr. Chairman. Carol.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Pell, second. Any further discussion by any members of council on this project, on this motion to approve this easement? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. And I believe that's all the items on our agenda, Madam Clerk.
That's correct.
Okay. Any further business from any council member we have on the real estate committee? All right, seeing none, well, we'll be adjourned. Thank you all for y'all's patience, and we'll get through this project. And staff, thank you all very, very much. All the fine work that y'all always do on for behalf of the city, particularly on the attainable and affordable housing. So
Yes, sir.
until the next time, we'll be adjourned. I'll see most
Thanks,
of y'all in
everybody.
about 5 seconds.